Hey guys, it's Katelynn Sings, and today in this video I'm going to be doing the musical theater tag. So I decided let's get these questions together, let's do them. I will leave all the questions, of course, in the description if you want to do it too. I'm not tagging anyone to do it, but I thought this would be a little fun challenge since I love musical theater and I could answer some of the questions. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So the first question was, what was the first musical you ever saw? Now, the first musical I ever saw was in 8th grade. We went on a trip to New York City to see a Broadway show, if you were in the Broadway Appreciation Club. So we chose whether to see, I think, Finding Neverland or School of Rock, and I chose to see School of Rock, and it was really good. Like, I thought it was so loud in the theater because they actually play their instruments, and it was so much fun, and that was one of the best days I ever had. So the second question is, what was your favorite musical growing up? And so I'm going to answer this as one musical in quotations because it's not really a musical, but it was a musical movie type of thing. So we'll answer that, and then we'll answer what musical I actually enjoyed growing up. So I didn't get into musicals until I was about 13 years old. So I was getting ready for my performance. So I was listening to the music to make sure I knew what my cues were. So as I was listening to the music on YouTube, I was listening to a created playlist of musicals, and then I heard the musical Heathers. I had no idea what Heathers was, but I liked the songs and I enjoyed them. So Heathers was my favorite one, and then that got me into exploring other musicals, like going to see the School of Rock on Broadway and going to every other place. So that was pretty fun. But if you want to know what musical I liked when I was younger, when I was very young, I was into Barbie, a lot of Barbie. So the first Barbie musical that I ever was into was Barbie Princess and the Pauper, which is a movie musical type thing, but it was a musical I enjoyed growing up. And I watched it, and then I just love the movie. And the animation from back then it really settled me. So that's my answer that's my two answers. So Barbie from kindergarten to like maybe my younger growing up years, and I stopped, and then I went to listening to Heathers. Big difference. So question 3 is, were you ever in a musical? And I was never in a musical per se. I was always in like my junior high production. So for my 7th grade year, I was in the musical Shrek Junior. I played Little Red Riding Hood. I played a Duloc citizen, and I also played a little dude that came out and just did this for some of the song, and then I went away and did this. It was so cute. And then in 8th grade, I played a lioness, which was so fun. Yeah. And those were those were the only 2 musicals I was ever in. In high school, I kind of more focused on finding other things that interested me besides theater, and then writing kind of interested me, so I kind of took a break from that and did writing. So that was fun, but yeah, those were the 2 musicals I was in. So question number 4 was, what was the first musical you ever saw on Broadway? And we're gonna refer back to question 1, School of Rock. Well, that was an easy answer. Question 5, if you could play any female character from any musical, who would you be and why? So I guess I would play Eliza, if that wasn't obvious. I guess I love Eliza, and I feel like I could definitely play her because honestly, she's just one of my favorite characters from Hamilton of all time. But in reality, if I had to, I'd probably play Peggy, because Peggy's so like I don't know. Peggy's just a character that I would love to play. Because I sometimes when Say No This comes on, I love to just be her character. So also, I think I could pull off. Question 6 is, which male character? Now, if the roles were reversed, I would love to play King George III. I think he's just hilarious, and also I think I could do a very good King George. I mean, I was King George III for Halloween one year, so I mean, I could pull it off for sure. Like, I would just love to be like, come out and go, you say the price of my love's not the price that you're willing to pay. Question 7 is, what is your favorite musical song to sing in the shower? Now, I have thousands, so I can't pick just one, but if I had to pick one that I really like to jam out to in the shower, is well, I can narrow it down to 3 songs, but my favorite one is ultimately Dead Mom, because I can like, I love to hear my riffs in the shower and see how I can do with Dead Mom. So that's one. I also like to do Helpless and Burn. Like, I did like a one-woman production, and like, honestly, if you could hear, if all productions were just done, I could definitely do it, but you'd have to like, I have to like send an audition tape, like, just so you could hear my vocals. I just love to, that's like my 3 top favorites to jam out to. Question 8 is, who is your favorite theater actress? Now, mine is Philippa Sue. I think she's just amazing and so talented that she deserves a spot on like being like the best actress, like getting the best actress award. Now, following is question 9, which is your favorite actor? And I would have to say Lin-Manuel Miranda. I can't stress that enough. He is handsome and just, oh my god. I love him so much. Like, he's like one of the best actors I've ever seen, and honestly, he plays a good Hamilton. I want to know, because I know he said, like, in one of his interviews, he was planning on whether to play Hamilton or Burr. I would love to see if the rules were switched, how he would be as Burr. Okay, I'm back. I'm actually in my room now. The reason why I was filming, like, when you see that chair in that video, the chair basically means that I've been filming there because my room didn't have light before because we missed light bulbs, but now that my room has light again, I can start filming again. So yeah, I'm so sorry about that, but we're back and we're about to answer more questions. So yeah, so number 10 is favorite film adaptation of a musical. Now, I'm going to say Annie, and I'm going to say the 2014 version. I like it. I mean, the music's more like to fit the modern times, I guess, like more modern music, which I think was really cool, and I honestly love it. So this is one of my favorites, and it's one of my favorites that I still watch today. So question 11 is, what is the most underrated musical? Now, I guess for me would be Amelie. No one's really heard of it, and I've asked a couple of people who I know are in musical theater, and they're like, Amelie, what's Amelie? So basically, Amelie is about a girl living in France, and she has this urge to help people and, better their lives. So it is from a movie back in 2001, and honestly, I think you should go watch the movie and then go watch the musical, because it will help out a lot if you don't understand it at all. I knew some people didn't like it, but I like the music to it. And also, Philippa Sue, who plays in Hamilton, Eliza, she plays in that musical as the main girl, Amélie. So yeah. Also, the French movie does have subtitles, so I definitely think you should go watch it. But yeah, that's one of my favorite musicals that I think is underrated that no one really knows about. So question 12 is overrated musical. So I think, as much as I'm a big fan of it, I'm going to say Hamilton is an overrated musical. I think if you ask a lot of people, they're going to know, like, oh, what's some of the musicals that you know? And a lot of people are going to mention Hamilton. It is an overrated musical. A lot of people like it, and I think a lot of people who don't even know musical theater liked it. So honestly, I'm going to say Hamilton. Though I love it with all my heart, it is still a big, wide world acclaim. It's traveling everywhere, so it's Hamilton. It's so much. A lot of people know it. At number 13, we have, which musical made you cry? Now, for me, I have a few. I have 2. Rent and Dear Evan Hansen. It didn't make me cry while I was watching it, but it is sad to hear. Requiem makes me cry all the time. You'll Be Found makes me cry. Just the whole musical is very sad in a way, and honestly, it is a tearjerker. And Rent. When Collins is singing about Angel dying, honestly, the tears came out. I was watching the production, the one where Renee Lee Salisbury was in it, and when Angel's, it was around 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning, and I'm sitting there crying about Angel's death at 5 in the morning. And this was on May 9th when I was taking my prom pictures. I was bawling my eyes out at 5 a.m. in the morning because I don't know. I was in quarantine, I had nothing else to do. I woke up and I was like, well, let's watch Rent. So yeah, if you guys want to know what I was doing on the morning of May 9th, watching Rent crying. Question 14, which musical made you laugh? Now, I think Beetlejuice made me laugh the most. I love Alex Brightman's character also. He really over-exaggerates everything that he does, which is what Beetlejuice needs to do when Beetlejuice is acting crazy. I think his characterization is amazing, and also the way it's just like Beetlejuice type of thing. And I love it, and also it made me laugh so many times just to hear Beetlejuice insult Barbara and Adam just gets me every time. I love it so much. Number 15. Are there any musicals you saw and hated? No, I've only seen 3, so I really can't make a judgment. I guess when I went to go see School of Rock, I really didn't enjoy much of it because I really couldn't understand it because this was my first musical, so I had no idea walking into what I was going to experience. So I decided, I was like, you know what? When I came home and I finally downloaded the soundtrack, I gave it another listen, and I was like, you know what? I actually now enjoy it. So I don't know. I mean, I guess I wasn't an avid theater goer before I went to see School of Rock and then went to go see Hamilton. I was not an avid theater person as well. So I think seeing School of Rock and Hamilton kind of changed my way of looking at musicals and what I should, engage in what the story's talking about. Don't wander your eyes around the theater type of thing. It was just so crazy. All right. The next question is, are there any musicals that you want to see as a film? Now, I know the Dear Evan Hansen movie is coming out, and I'm really excited to see that because honestly, who wouldn't want to see Dear Evan Hansen as a movie? I also want to see if it is more like the book, because there is a book on Dear Evan Hansen. I want to see if it's more like the book or the musical. Like, I want to see, like, what do they use from the book? What do they use from the musical? I read the book, and I thought it was just like the musical, but there were some things that in there, of course, that were changed. So I want to see if they use more of the book style to make it more like a book movie, or make it more like a musical movie or a book musical movie, which I think they'll do maybe both. I don't know. We have to see what they work on it. But I know Ben Platt's starring in it as Evan, which is pretty awesome. There are a lot. There's ones that I wanted to see but shut down, and ones I still want to see and they aren't shut down. Okay, so I'm going to give the ones that I wanted to see. I wanted to see Waitress, I wanted to see Beetlejuice, and I wanted to see Mean Girls, and all 3 of them shut down, which I'm so upset about. Like, those 3 musicals, they deserved more acclaim. They deserved more popular. I mean, I think Waitress deserved more popularity as well, and I also think, and I thought Mean Girls was doing so well, and then that shut down, and so I'm really upset, because they performed in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and then they got shut down, and so did Beetlejuice, and they got shut down. But I don't think Waitress performed, but I don't know. I'm just so upset. That's so upsetting to me. I wish I could have saw those shows. The shows I still do want to see that are still open on Broadway are Six, because I heard it's really good. The Book of Mormon, because it's funny and I love the music. And I want to see... Oh gosh, please help me remember the name. Wicked. That's what I wanted to see. I heard so many good things about these shows that I really want to see them. So hopefully we pray that everyone gets better, coronavirus ends soon, and Broadway can reopen safe and we can go see musicals again like we used to. Question 18 is, what movie or book do you want to see turned as a musical? And honestly, I want to see The Greatest Showman turned as a musical. Come on. I mean, they already have music, so you have something to base it off on. You have a movie to base it off on, and it's about circus and tricks and all this stuff. I think it'd be very cool. And the audience watching stuff, the audience could be us. We're the audience. We're part of that, musical movie experience. I think it'd be very cool. All right, so question 19 is, what is your all-time favorite musical? And of course, the answer to that is Hamilton. But just because it's my all-time favorite doesn't mean I like it right now. I will always love Hamilton. And I always have a special place in my heart because Hamilton brought me into loving musical theater and seeing more of these shows and hearing about them. Because if it wasn't for Hamilton, I wouldn't know about all these other shows like Dear Evan Hansen and Waitress and Rent and all that other stuff. It wouldn't have appealed to me. And as of right now, my favorite show is Waitress. So, yeah. Don't worry. I don't know. We thought the Hamilton thing was just a phase. Maybe it's moving past me. But, yeah, I think that even though I love another show, I'm listening to another show right now and I like that show right now, I will always have a special place in my heart for Hamilton. So, yeah. Okay, so this is a little of a story time. I don't usually do story times, but this one I thought was just too fun that I had to include it in this. So we all know I'm a musical theater major. This plays in later. Okay, so when we were in kindergarten, we did this big production show. So one of the songs that we sang was Give My Regards to Broadway. As you see, this plays in as well. So we sang it. So this is one of the big things I remember was the chorus. So the chorus is give my regards to Broadway, remember me to Herald Square. Tell all the gang at 42nd Street that I will soon be there. Whisper for how I'm yearning to mingle with the old-time throng. Give my regards to old Broadway, that I will be there ere long. That was what I remember. And I remember after the show, I don't remember this, actually, my mom told me this. So after the show, I told my mom, where is Broadway? I don't remember saying this. I honestly don't. But I asked my mom where was Broadway. So my mom and my dad took me to New York City to show me where Broadway was. And I think that's hilarious because I don't remember that. I have gone to New York City in the past when I was younger and I remember some of it, but I do not remember going to actual Broadway. So I thought it was so funny, and honestly, like, that is me said, like, oh, so when I was younger, I always wanted to know where Broadway was, and I think ever since then, a little piece of Broadway always stuck with me. So that's a story time for you guys. So how crazy is that? Like, I actually wanted to know where Broadway was as a little girl. So hey, I guess maybe maybe my theater major, maybe I knew, maybe my younger self knew Broadway was the answer. Your bow wows, the cats meow. It's how I know you're you. You don't need the bows or tiaras, bid your woes. Sayonara, trust your nose, 'cause it knows where to go. Alright, number 4. Alright guys, so that is the video for today. Make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below if you have any video suggestions or song suggestions. Make sure you subscribe to my channel if you like my content. And make sure you hit that bell after the subscribe button to get notified of my future uploads. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!